we have our normal draft crew here to do our first mock draft video group because the other one got corrupt and sucked, and then trades happened, and then everything was terrible. So with me, as always, is Greg. Greg, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. How is lovely Nashville at 7:30 in the morning at this time?
I don't know. I haven't looked outside. It could be on
Yeah, I don't
fire. I have
blame
no
you
idea.
either. It's
Uh,
very possible at this rate.
Next to him is Ping. Tyler, what's up?
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
You ditched us last time, but no one would know
I
that if
did.
I didn't say
Yeah,
that. So,
exactly.
Boo!
yeah. Welcome. Austin, you
One
have a
for one.
turtleneck on?
Do I have to dress and look the part? Plus, it's a little cold, so my neck will get all the warmth that it needs.
Fair.
It is 19 degrees here, so it makes sense, yeah.
Fair. And then you got Dre. What's up, buddy?
19 degrees.
Yeah, it's cold out.
Yeah, aren't you guys all in Pittsburgh?
Mhm.
How's it? Isn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't look outside. I just heard the wind. I didn't realize it was 19 degrees. That's sucks. But other than that, I'm good. It's good morning. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
If you really want to know, it feels like 6 with the wind.
I guess my cup calls for it because it's a Christmas cup.
Okay, so we are going to do a one-round mock draft. Everyone, this is the worst day of my life already. I love this. We're going to
It's
start.
only going to get better.
Provided the order. The order is first overall pick. So the way that it'll go is serpentine. So whoever has the first will have the sixth. First is Austin, then Greg, then Ping, then me, then Dre. So Dre, you have the 5, the 10. Austin, you have the 1, the 6, so on and so forth. So let's get underway here. Austin, you have the first overall pick for the Carolina Panthers in our mock draft. And I do want to ask and clarify, guys, this, in my opinion, is going to be what we think the team should do, not what they are going to do. So the delineation there is like, if you think the Panthers are going to take C.J. Stroud, but you think they should take Bryce Young, you would take Bryce Young in this situation, just to clarify what kind of draft this is. Austin, you're on the clock.
Right. It's no secret. Chicago traded away this pick with a boatload to Carolina. It has to be a quarterback here, which just sucks because like Matt Corral was the guy that was going to take the realm until he had his injury. Never really gave him a shot. So honestly, I feel like they're going to make a bigger splash than a lot of people are going to think. But for right now, I think it's safe to say if we're going to go quarterback, we might as well go the best one out of the bunch. It's going to be Bryce Young out of Alabama. I think a lot of people are concerned of size, but nobody was really concerned with Drew Brees, how he flourished being as small as he is. Yes, Kyler Murray has had his issues with his height, but when it comes to this, you got to think Bryce Young's the best of the bunch.
A lot of people believe that pick is Stroud. I also would have gone Young, is how I'll word it there.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. So
yeah, I think it's a great overall pick. Greg, Ping, any issues? Because I know the reason I ask is because I know Dre has issues, so we'll give him the last length of this.
I mean, everyone's picking Stroud, but I agree. I would go Alabama.
I have been on record numerous times saying I don't like this quarterback class in general. So I think if they're going to build an offense around him, and because it's a run-heavy team already to begin with, they might as well have it be Young, considering he's the one with probably the most, I guess, like the most like star potential, if you want to say it that way. So I'd say Young is probably the fair pick here.
Dre, you would have gone Stroud?
Yeah, I would have went Stroud. I completely understand going Bryce Young. Part of it because there isn't a QB that necessarily stands above the rest. I mean, there is for probably each and every one of us, and that's different. But there's no unanimous choice, which makes the pick kind of difficult, I guess. If you're Carolina, you just can't mess it up though, because you traded all these picks and DJ Moore in order to get here. So you better get it right. And I get what Austin's saying about comparing him to Drew Brees, but I don't think that's fair because, I mean, Drew Brees is one of one. He's arguably a top 10 quarterback of all time. And, I like you saying Kyler, but there's just plenty of other examples as well of not being successful. What I will say about Bryce, though, is that he has the best football IQ out of all 4 of the quarterbacks, and that's his elite trait for me. So, him playing that way his entire life, I think he can be successful. So, we'll see what Frank Reich can do.
Greg, you're up for the Texans.
So this past week on Two Beers Deep, we did a mock, and I actually had them taking Will Anderson at 2, and I still believe that is the perfect pick for them, but because I'm going off of like what they should do, I mean,
No, this is what you,
I can't
this
let.
is what you would do.
Is it what I would do?
So
Okay.
this is what you think they would do, meaning you're the GM of their team. The other one is what they will do.
Yeah,
Don't get confused.
as much as I think Will Anderson is perfect fit for them, like in the end, I think they're going to realize they need a quarterback because they can't try out Davis Mills again, and they're going to start another rebuild, and they can get more talent at 12, honestly, or trade down. So give me the other quarterback on the board, and I'm going to go CJ Stroud.
I think that's a fine pick. I think you tried to rope-a-dope your way around not doing it on Two Beers Deep, but I think that was a fine pick.
Yeah, I feel like Will Anderson is a perfect fit for DeMeco Ryans in that team because they need. If you look at their defense, like I couldn't tell you aside from Stingley who their best player was last year, and I feel like they need something on that line to be able to make it work. But like they cannot keep tossing out Davis Mills and hope that it's gonna like be for the better. So might as well like get to start running with a franchise quarterback caliber guy, and Stroud has it.
Fair. Ping, you're for the Cardinals.
Okay. Since Will Anderson just fell into my lap, that's who I would be taking with 3.
Mm-hmm.
Pairing him with Calais Campbell and Jones in there and just have him going. JJ Watt's no longer with the team, so that's my reasoning.
I had said to somebody that if the Cardinals pick at 3, I would be surprised. Like if they actually
if they don't trade.
Yeah, if they remain in this pick, because you look at teams like the Falcons, maybe Las Vegas if they want their guy, Tennessee, like a couple quarterback teams that could move into that 3 spot. Even the Colts move up 1 spot. But if they get Will Anderson, that would be a steal for them.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I'm up for the Colts here. This one is fairly easy in my opinion. I am going to go quarterback. For me, it's about going for the quarterback that could probably jump in there and compete with Gardner right this very second, and that's Will Levis out of Kentucky for the Colts. And that
would he start right away, you think?
No, we talked about that on 2 Beers Deep. What's the over-under on Gardner Minshew starts? Is it 3.5? I think you had it at, Craig.
I think I said 3.5. So like Gardner Minshew would start 4 games this year.
Yeah, I think Gardner starts there because Will's not there. But like it's going to be very much a Kenny Pickett situation where Will Levis is like whoever they draft is more likely to finish the year as their quarterback. You don't want to do that to Anthony Richardson. Will Levis probably can take the hits while learning.
Yeah, the way I look at it, Young and Stroud are probably the 2 quarterbacks that start right away, I'd imagine. Richardson is clearly not going to be the one, and I think Levis is the one that like is kind of tossy-turvy depending on the situation he goes to.
Agreed. Dre, you got Seattle.
Seattle's an interesting pick here because a lot of mocks I've done, I've kind of been leaning towards edge here. So there's guys like Tyree Wilson or Miles Murphy, but I'm going to go a different route. And I think, honestly, this is the route that they should go, seeing as that's what you had said I should do. So I'm going to try and do my best to reincarnate one of the best defenses of all time in the Legion of Boom. And I'm going to go Christian Gonzalez here.
Ooh.
Just be elite out here on the outside with Tariq Woolen and Christian Gonzalez. I mean, that's talent out the ass. I'm here for it.
Love it. I mean, I think any defensive pick is what they're going to do. I don't see them getting their quarterback here in any way. So Gonzalez is my top corner. I think it's a great pick.
He kind of fits the mold, too, of like a lot of Seahawks corners of like the long, tall, very lanky type guys that the Legion of Boom were kind of based on. So I think I like that a lot.
Agreed. That's a great pick. Austin, you have the Detroit Lions, their first of 2 picks.
Yeah, I feel like I just got cucked because that's probably where I was going in terms of corner. Yes, they have signed Cam Sutton, but there's desperately needs help in that secondary. But since there's a bit of a drop off, I think now between the corners, maybe we wait a little bit. This is a deep corner class. There's a lot that we can do with it. So I'm going to pair a person to go up and help last year's draft pick from the Lions, I don't know why it's slipping my name right now, but that's terrible.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
it. Take off the turtleneck right now, live on camera.
To help out Aiden Hutchinson, so give me Tyree Wilson, Texas Tech.
I think that's a popular guy to rise upwards to the athletic factor, and I think anybody across from Aiden Hutchinson is going to succeed. So, no problems on my end. That means that after you, though, Greg, you have the Las Vegas Raiders.
This one's tough because I can see them going in.
At the seventh pick.
I can see so many different routes for them because I don't care for their defense that much, and Jalen Carter is there, which kind of weirdly fit the mold of Raiders guys that have some sort of legal trouble, honestly, that they get in. I'm sorry, they just do. I wouldn't mind going for O-line either because like they have no help right there, but and I could go Anthony Richardson here, honestly, as well, just to like be the bridge guy.
Any of the guys on the right side, you could go any of them.
Literally all of them.
Yeah, all of them I could. You know what? I think the value though is just so good that they wouldn't pass him up. So give me Jalen Carter for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
Not the greatest of spots probably, but talent wise, I feel like they won't be able to pass that up.
I almost went off if you pass on him because of your whole BPA thing.
But he just said he doesn't care for the defense.
No, but BPA.
No, their defense is not good. No.
BPA.
Yeah, dude, he's the best player available no matter what. Like, if Greg falls on the Steelers and he doesn't take Bijan Robinson, he's a big fat phony. Why not Anthony Richardson there, Greg?
He's clearly the enigma of this class, and it would add up, honestly, simply for the fact that Garoppolo's only there for a 3-year contract. So, I mean, he could be the bridge guy. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel like that is the situation that he'd want because they need to build an offense, or he needs to be in a situation that an offense would be set up to work around him, and the Raiders don't necessarily have that just yet. I think I like Josh Jacobs. I like Devontae Adams, but I don't know. Like, I don't see that Lane or whoever. I don't see Josh McDaniels as liking him. Honestly, I don't know if he would fit the type of quarterback. He's almost like the complete opposite of Derek Carr and Jimmy G in terms of their play style. And Richardson, other thing too, Richardson does not have the best accuracy or arm. So Devontae Adams is not going to be happy with something like that, or whoever they get at receiver. Like, you need someone to kind of like be a bridge guy. You need him to like be a situation where he can grow and learn, and there's not necessarily like pressure on him to produce right away. There is pressure in the Raiders to produce right away.
You had me going into that, and then you finished it with basically convincing me that the Raiders is the best landing spot for him, because you said they need a bridge guy and he doesn't have to play right away, so they have Jimmy Garoppolo, but at the same time they can't make their offense, which made me think of Joe Flacco and the Ravens. Greg, you just absolutely convinced me the Raiders should have taken Anthony Richardson with that pick.
It's early. My words are jumbled. What can I say?
No, your words are good. I'm a believer now. No, agreed. I think Jalen Carter there makes sense. Ping, you have the Atlanta Falcons, my friend.
Okay. I'm going to take Anthony Richardson here.
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
Nice big thing.
Just they need a quarterback for the future. I like pairing Anthony Richardson with a good tight end and wide receiver, and he has both of those right now. They can all learn together. I think it's
very young too. Yeah.
Primed and ready for a quarterback to come in. I know he's on the lesser side of the quarterback class, but I think it's a good situation for him nonetheless.
I love the pick. I mean, Atlanta just signed Taylor Heineke, I think, to like a 1 or 2 year deal. Yes, you have Desmond Ridder, but I don't think anybody was really wowed by Desmond Ridder and when he was playing. So this is an opportunity now for if Heineke ever burns out, which could very well happen. It happened a lot in Washington. There's a big opportunity for Richardson to compete for that backup spot with Desmond Ridder and cement himself to throw to the likes of, like you said, Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about Anthony Richardson is that, I'm just going to say this, I think he has the highest ceiling out of everyone in this class, and that's solely based off his athleticism. If he can get his mechanics down and down when it comes to throwing the football, which is going to take time, which is why this is a good landing spot for him. I genuinely believe he's going to be, he could be the best out of this class. It's just he needs time in order to make that happen. And I know you get getting reps, like live reps in game, that'll help, but that could also mess someone up. So
Yeah.
him going anywhere outside of one, I think, is a good landing spot where he can sit. Well, the Texans as well, because, they really can't sit Davis Mills again. So he just needs to sit. That's all. So I really like this pick thing.
Let's hope they start Ritter. I am up for the Bears. Jalen Carter, Will Anderson obviously go. I don't see them taking secondary help. This one's fairly easy. I'm going to go for the offensive line. Give me the Ohio State Parra Johnson Jr. I'm interested to see more where these linemen finish come draft day. Jones has been sliding upwards. Skoronski's been looked at as more of a guard. I think once it's all said and done, I'm interested to see if Parrish Johnson Jr. is still the top tackle. A lot of guys moving and a lot of different stuff, but right now it makes all the sense in the world. Cool. Moving on there, Dre, you have the Philadelphia Eagles at 10.
Do it.
That's how it's going.
Do it, Dre.
You're a fraud.
Do it. Because you were going to get on Greg's case for not taking Jalen Carter.
I knew this was coming. And before I make my pick, I just want to premise this and say there has been a lot of turnover on the Philadelphia Eagles. There has been some good retention on the Philadelphia Eagles. They've added some pieces in order to, in order to supplement the losses and try to, do whatever. But when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, you look at the strength of their team, and for me, you start with Jalen Hurts, and you look at the weapons he has, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They really like Kenneth Gainwell a lot. But let's add Bijan Robinson as offense.
Yeah! Let's go!
Greg's just excited. He doesn't have to take him to the Steelers.
I know. Thank God.
Waiting for this moment.
Thank God.
It's clearly a reach because you don't take a running back.
Oh, my God.
No, I don't think it's a reach because, Dre, honestly, everything you said was going to happen has happened, so I'm Team Dre now. I didn't think Fletcher Cox had it in him to take a hometown deal. So whatever you say is Bible at this point.
That's a scary thought right there.
I love it.
Their offense was insane last year. Let's just boost it to a whole new level where you add another weapon. And I get it. It's not going to be easy to retain him. They're not going to have 70 sacks again. But, with everybody basically still on that offense, you add Bijan Robinson to it, and my goodness, good luck.
Agreed. Ping is the only one that's lived in Philly. Would they burn the city down?
I don't know. With Miles Sanders leaving, it's you could convince at least half the fan base that it's a good idea, right?
The whole premise of this thing was they have 2 firsts. This 1 at 10 gives them the luxury in order to do this. He's not going to fall to 31. They have to trade up. They don't have running back obviously is a massive need, but now it's
it's going to happen.
I just would have went defense. I think
could make their unit 50 times better.
With you, Ping, but Dre said it's going to happen, so it's going to happen.
I can't wait to see it.
I just want you to
can't
know.
wait
It's going to happen. I know it is.
I better tell Jackie's dad now.
Yeah, let him know that it already happened. Just text him.
Friend of the show, Tom Mumbaugh, I told his father-in-law in November. And I'm
Oh my God.
Everybody text their Philly friends and say, hey, congrats on Bijan.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say. Austin, you're up for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, it's how do you follow that, right? You have one of the most.
Try drafting Bijan, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If only I could do it again. Oh, is he still here? No. Yeah, we go from one of the fancier, awesome picks to one of the very predictable picks in this draft. The Titans' offensive line help is absolutely destroyed. And let's be honest, you need to protect, whether that be a very aging Ryan Tannehill and downgrading Ryan Tannehill, or you try to protect the very mobile but apparently couldn't throw to save his life Malik Willis in those retrospectives. So, and Derrick Henry is getting shopped, so we know that there's no reason to look for anything with that scenario. So I'm just going to look at the best offensive lineman off the board. And I think in terms of versatility, you might want to go this guy. So let's go Northwestern's Peter Skoronsky.
Short little T-Rex
both-
arms.
You need both tackle. Yeah, short arms. I know. You need both tackle and guard help.
Dinosaur arms.
So you can decide where he fits that mold. That he has multiple, like you can mold him into whatever you want to say. So
Yeah, I think he's the best offensive lineman in the class in terms of versatility, and I think he could be one of the best tackles. The arm thing is obviously real, but I think again with these tackles, you come draft time, it might be completely different. No issues for me there, Oz. Greg, you're up for the Texans. The Texans have made another pick. They have taken C.J. Stroud. You are up at 12 for their second of 2.
This one is easy for me. I got my franchise quarterback, so give me the franchise left tackle to protect him. Give me Broderick Jones. I'm not crazy about Laramie Tunsil still staying there, so I would rather use him as trade fodder to be able to get more picks in this draft and replenish that roster. So I now have a franchise quarterback, and I got the guy to protect my franchise quarterback.
Well, if history says anything about trading Brandin Cooks, the Texans will be in great shape for that.
Exactly.
Stuff the Dolphins traded of Laramie Tunsil.
Or a pick related to Laramie Tunsil based off of the draft that he was drafted in. So, yeah.
Good point. No, I like the pick. I think it's a great pick. I think a lot of people try to force receiver here, and I'm just not in love with it. So I'm with you, Greg.
Yeah, this receiver class is just weak in general. So I would wait till see what happens in the later rounds.
Ping.
I'm one of those.
Ooh, good, Jay. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying one of those people that I'm absolutely forcing receiver here.
same.
Yeah, I would literally had Broderick Jones written on my slip, ready to give to the commish, but would it fit perfectly? Jets' offensive line is the weakest point of the offense. You bring in Aaron Rodgers, you want to give him help on that avenue. I'm going to counter Aaron Rodgers' insane demands for wide receivers, and I'm going to draft Jordan Addison from USC.
Ooh.
Okay.
So you got the O'Roy, Garrett Wilson. You got
You can have
Jordan
Adam Lazard,
Addison, Alan Lazard.
and then that means we don't need Cobb or OBJ. That would be the counter to sign.
Well,
Aaron Rodgers.
you know damn well you're getting Randall Cobb because
Yeah,
like
right. So it's really
that's
OBJ,
happening.
right?
Yeah. It's real. Yeah, it's more OBJ than anything.
I don't hate that pick. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of weapons now.
No excuses.
If he's not happy, then we clearly
there's
have
a
no
big
idea what the
problem.
hell
Oh,
what the hell
yeah,
to do.
yeah. We don't know what
Put
we're
him
doing
back
there.
in the dark like a toy in a toy chest and have him fight the man again. I'm
Like a
sorry.
toy in a toy chest.
That's terrifying. It just rose out of nowhere.
That cup is awesome, and Aaron Rodgers will definitely find an excuse.
This is the cup that I'm
Aaron
picking
Rodgers.
out of Ping.
Nice.
Just this.
That is cool.
I stole it. All right, I'm up for the Patriots. A couple different ways we can go here. I think they really do need receiver help. They're bringing in Juju, though. They need a lot of defensive help. But I'm going to go with the guy that's linked to them pretty heavily. Once you get into these cornerbacks now, I think even though Devin Witherspoon is the best cornerback still on the board, the way the Patriots play in their cornerback situation, I'm going to go with the tougher guy. A little grabby, like you said, Greg, but Joey Porter Jr. to New England.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think he's the next best corner. I think that's Witherspoon, but I do think Joey Porter is the corner that can be a little more physical up front. So feels like a good fit.
I even think being grabby too is easily coachable as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's necessarily something.
The
to
Patriots
knock him
just
on.
produce corners anymore. Like J.C. Jackson going over to the Chargers, and even wow, I can't think of his name. I'm pulling a UOS. Malcolm Butler. Like they just produce good corners, so I'm not mad about it. Dre, the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers would be very funny here to get a receiver the year they trade Aaron Rodgers. That would be great. I've seen some mocks go Michael Mayer, which I like, but there's a guy on the board that is, to me, the epitome of a Green Bay Packer. You just look at him and you see that uniform. And they need help here on the defensive line, so I'm going to go Brian Breeze.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't hate that at all. I'm interested to see where he lands because a lot of people had him in the second round. A lot of people have him top 10. He's an enigma to me, so I'm really interested there, and I don't think that's a bad pick at all.
I think there's plenty of those in this draft, but I don't know. I just look at him. I'm like, yep, that's him. He's a Packer. So we'll see how they feel about it. We just know they're not going receiver or quarterback.
I mean, I already wrote Brian Brisset in as guaranteed going to the Packers.
In my mock, I had the Cowboys trading up to draft this guy. Traded St. Louis or Seattle. Great.
I think talent-wise, he's got it. It's just we didn't see a lot of him because of his injury issues and stuff.
Agreed. Austin, you got the Commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah, the Washington Commanders.
Exactly. Love it. There's something about now the Snyders like clearing their offices and everything that it makes me feel like Dan's gonna have one more opportunity to get those kids from Alabama, because that's just what he does. And so for me right now, I think they need help in the secondary quite a bit. You can put this guy wherever you want. I think he can play both things. Give me Brian Branch.
Love that pick.
Very versatile, listed as a safety, can be a nickel guy. Very versatile. And he went to Alabama.
Yeah. Honestly, I won't be shocked at all if Branch goes higher up in the draft simply as we get closer.
I agree. I think he's just a specialty guy.
That's why when they said Brian Breeze, before they said the Breeze, I was like, Dre, don't cut me again. Because I could see Brian Branch easily going to the Packers as well. So
the second you did this, I knew that I cut you. Which means it's a great pick.
Malik, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This one's easy for me based on how the board has fallen. Best corner available and a guy that we all love in some way. He's been injured, but still, I think he'd be a great fit for us. Give me Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois.
If that happened, I would be super ecstatic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we all would. And if we're not, I would probably slap you in the face. Because you need
I'm slightly nervous about the fact that he hasn't worked out at all during all this, but apparently he's getting a private workout sometime, I think a couple weeks before the draft. So hopefully it'll show that his hamstring's healthy. But I think but based on his tape and just based on how he's played, he's gonna be he'll be a great corner in this.
That would have been my question originally. Was did we ever find out the reason why that he wasn't participating in the pro day? But now you just answered that.
Hamstring, yeah.
Ping, you got the Lions. They previously took Tyree Wilson, edge out of Texas Tech.
This is tough. I don't know who I want, to be honest. Let's see. Their needs are linebackers, so I'm probably leaning towards a linebacker pick here. Give me Trenton Simpson.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
They definitely need more athletes on their defense, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Simpson is an interesting one, too, because he kind of isn't talked about at all. Drew Sanders came up boards and went down. Jack Campbell's coming up boards. A lot of interior guys. Trent Simpson just feels like the obvious top linebacker, so not enough people, I think, are talking about him, but I think it's a good pick.
This linebacker class is interesting. A lot of guys have tested very well and are starting to rise, but no one's gotten into that guaranteed first round spot almost. It's interesting.
Agreed. Very much so. I am up for the Tampa Bay Bucks. If Bijan was here, I'd take him. So that sucks.
Sorry.
It's okay. They don't really. They lost playoff Lenny. Baker's coming in. I think it makes all the sense in the world to take a swing, and so that's why I'm going to go Lucas Van Ness over Miles Murphy. So Lucas Van Ness, Iowa to the Buccaneers.
Good pick. Do you guys you guys can see him going a lot higher than 19? Right?
Oh, for sure.
Edges are going to get a run. There's going to be a run on edges because Miles Murphy's going to go, Tyree's going to go, Lucas Van Ness is going to go. McDonald the fourth might go, even though Dre would have a conniption. For me, Van Ness is a freak athlete that just doesn't have the tape. Miles Murphy feels like the safer guy, and you never want to go with the safe route at edge. You kind of want to take a swing. So,
right. I think I had when I did my mock. I think I had him getting mocked to the Falcons. I think that's where I had him as high as that pick.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting.
Oh yeah.
It will be interesting. Austin, you have the Seattle Seahawks here. Did I? No. Okay, yes. Wait, what?
I think I have.
Oh, Dre has. Sorry, yes, apologies. Dre has the Seattle Seahawks. They previously selected Christian Gonzalez, corner. Dre.
Yeah. I made that pick. I made that pick back then, just hoping that some of the edges would fall. I took, in my opinion, a better player on the board, and one player has fallen. I just don't know how much farther he's going to continue to fall because I'm not going to take Miles Murphy here. I'm actually going to go edge, but I'm going to go someone who I believe that they think is going to be more impactful. So I'm going to go Nolan Smith here.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I was ready to click Isaiah Foskey.
Now, Nolan Smith is someone that his workout really impressed me. I know that he's fast and he kind of gives me Von Miller vibes, and I'm here for that.
I'm going to like preach this. He is 100% a 3-4 outside linebacker. 100%.
Dre, your comps always make me giggle. Like when was it Washington you said is the Kyle Pitts of this class, and then came back and said not like that, just that he's different.
I did say that, and then the next day I walked back and I was like, all right, he's Mercedes Lewis. I saw him run.
But then he had that one-handed catch, and I was like, Dre's right.
Back to Kyle Pitts.
I mean, you're
just talking yourself more and more into the Bible thing for Dre, I can tell based on this.
It's Bible.
And that's okay, I'm just glad someone's tasting the greatness. Pause.
No,
all I'm trying to say is,
moving on.
Oh my God!
I'm not even so about facts. Just take it in, man.
Yep, agreed. Austin, you got the Chargers.
Every time I feel like I have to follow something up, whether that is a great pick or is whatever conversation.
And that's my picks right there. So there you go, Austin.
Yeah.
So
you take the commentary with it. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Chargers, we know they've been talked to releasing or possibly maybe even trading Keenan Allen. Your receivers after that, you have Mike Williams, who has been on an injury-prone thing a little bit. Josh Palmer, when he was asked to be the number one, really stepped up in terms of catches and numbers. You know that offense is going to be very pass-heavy, especially now that they want Austin Eckler has requested a trade. So targets are going to shy away from him as well. And you're going to need another guy in terms of receiving to get that done. And the next one up on my board is none other than Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see what they'll balance there because, like you said, the big body guy Mike Williams versus the route runner Keenan. Who are they going to fill in there? I had Jordan Addison in one mock. You could have Quentin, the guy that pops tops off, Jalen Hyatt. So I think it's receiver, and I think it just depends which one they like.
Yeah. So I think that, Quentin Johnston resembles Mike Williams in a way. You don't necessarily want to ever have the two guys in terms of build that are the same. You want more versatility with it. So which is why I went with Ohio State's the Jigba. It just seems a lot easier.
Greg, Baltimore Ravens.
So I actually really wanted JSN for the Ravens because I thought that'd be a great option because I don't like Quentin Johnston at all. He just strikes me as a guy that ran past people and got lucky on catches, honestly. I don't see anything really that special from him. So if I'm the Ravens, I just stay back. I let the board come to me as it goes, and I get great value with Miles Murphy. He hasn't been testing because he's been injured and stuff, but when he's healthy, he produces so much for that Clemson defense, and he fits very well for them. So I say Miles Murphy here at 22.
I was going to be ecstatic if he fell to me at 24 for the Jaguars, so I think 22 makes a lot of sense for Miles Murphy. Ping, you are up for the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm kind of regretting my pick for the last team I drafted for because Vikings, I think, also need a talented inside linebacker.
They just need defense everywhere,
just
man.
Trade with yourself.
I will trade with myself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame here.
Foskey is an interesting one because I think he could be that, him and Ojulari are the later edges that could go in this class that are still good quality edges. I think that's a good pick, Ping.
Yeah, I like it too. Like Deke said, This team just needs everything on defense, and Brian
Mhm.
Flores, the new D coordinator. This is a good start. So he's been known to turn to polish shit from time to time, and there isn't really much there. So you got to restock that cupboard, and what you have on offense is Justin Jefferson. So you're pretty much
Yeah.
good for starters. So
Yep. Yeah, off the
I
top of my
like
head,
it.
off the top of my head, the only defensive player probably worthy much that they'd keep is Harrison Smith, and that's not saying much because he's getting older too.
Yeah.
So
They
yeah, I
did
think
keep
they just
him.
need talent.
They did keep him too. They restructured his contract, so he's still here.
Yeah, but he's probably not much longer in that one too. So they just got to add talent everywhere, honestly.
Agreed. That means I am up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They, finally have receivers, have a pretty, I'd say, above average offensive line, looking good there. So I think the
Your
thing
boy
that
Evan Ingram balling out too.
Evan
Yeah.
Ingram looks great there. I mean, great. I can't wait to see Calvin Ridley back. I'm excited for this team. They are in kind of a bad situation, in my opinion, because you look at the three corners that are available in Cam Smith, Keely Ringo, Clark Phillips. It's going to come down to what you want. Cam Smith probably feels like the safest one. Keely Ringo has the high athletic upside, but can't ball hawk. Clark Phillips feels more of a nickel guy that can be filled in with certain situations. So I'm going to skip all of them. And I'm going to go with Deontay Banks out of Maryland and take the cornerback that has been a little rising up boards, a little bit more of a question mark than the other guys. Cam Smith, I think, fell really hard for me. And Keely, Dre, and I've talked about this. He just feels like too much of a college athlete than a good quality corner. So give me Deontay Banks.
Are you giving him like Artie Burns comps almost, essentially, with the athlete over the corner?
No, I'm not going to give him Artie Burns comps because Artie Burns sucked. But I think it's a guy that, this might be a bad positional comp, obviously, but it felt like, when we were just geeked because Isaiah Simmons was just going to be a freak athlete and fit in that defense so well, either at linebacker or safety. I'm not saying Keely has that versatility, but I've talked with Jerry about it where it's like, Ringo, for me, feels like you just throw a freak athlete out there in high school football just because he's a better athlete. He didn't seem to track well. He was just beating guys because he was a better athlete. You're going to the NFL where it's the best athletes. So that's just my big kind of worry. He can be coached, don't get me wrong. Banks just feels like a guy that you can slot in right now, and he's going to be your CB2 maybe, but he's going to fit in there and be happy. I don't like that noise you just made.
Mm-hmm.
Dre,
What noise?
Dre, you're up for the Giants. He goes,
Yeah. So originally looking at this team, it was kind of funny because ESPN.com, they're pretty lackadaisical in updating some things. And as of now, I want to read this right. They have at guard Ben Breedson and at center Ben Breedson. Absolutely hilarious. They have no idea who's going to play guard for them. But when you look at free agency, you see that they signed a guard in Nick Gates. So originally that was my team need for them. But after doing a little research, I see that they have a giant hole on the defensive side of the ball. And they have one of the better, if not fan favorite defensive coordinators in Wink Martindale. So I'm going to take everything that Deke just said, and I'm going to take a guy and put him in on the outside and let Wink Martindale kind of mold this man. He's very young, which is why you get more of the athletic vibe as opposed to maybe the polished guy vibe. So I'm going to take my guy, who I do like, although he's falling on my board as well, and Keely Ringo here at 25.
Okay.
I think it makes all the sense in the world. I think the Giants need athletes in that division. I think that's a good pick. Let's move on here. Austin, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret right now that they're shopping for whether it be D-Hop or Odell. I don't think they're going to get either of those guys. So when you look at it, like I would have went Ringo here because they desperately need some help to help Trayvon Diggs in that corner role. I don't think Cam Smith fits that quite yet. So I'm going to take a surprise pick here that he's still here. And I'm going to take Quentin Johnston from TCU, fitting in that wide receiver role in Dallas.
think
immediately swaps in as the number 2, actually. So that's a pretty solid pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's a great landing spot for him because the knock on Johnson is that sometimes he's great, sometimes he's terrible, and at wide receiver, it's just you can't do that shit. Look at Kelvin Benjamin's career, but if he doesn't have to be the one, I think that's a great landing spot.
Yeah, I agree. CeeDee Lamb is the obvious wide receiver 1 there, but they don't really have anything outside of that. I know they tried with Michael Gallup and they gave him an extension, but he can't stay on the field, And this is a guy that they don't really have anyone that can go win a 50-50 ball, and that's what Johnson's going to be known for in the NFL. So I really like this pick.
Yeah, they don't have Noah Brown anymore either. Pretty sure that he went to Houston. And Dalton Schultz is a blatant free agent. Now, will they re-sign him? I have no idea. So that's a big target for Prescott as well. So if he loses him, you're going to want another guy that can actually, catch the ball and catch it good. And to me, that's Johnson.
What I will say is that just for future reference, if they do lose Schultz, I wouldn't mind them pivoting and going Washington here or Meyer. So that's just
That'd be a scary pick, actually, Washington there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Yeah, if they lose Schultz, that's a great idea. Greg, the Buffalo Bills.
I think this one is pretty easy based on how the board is falling. They need to improve their run game, I think, very, very much so. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to improve the O-line. So give me the best guard in the class, Osiris Torrance.
Nice pick.
Yeah, we talked about that. I just want to say the red flags that you gave me live on Two Beers Deep, where he is more of a passing guard versus a running game guard. I know you talked. I did this pick and you hated it.
Yeah, and you are right. And you are right.
Like no, you are right because they're your words.
Yeah, he is more pass in that sense, but I also would argue that they have to eventually prioritize the running game. And I think the way that their coaching staff kind of sets it up is they should be able to eventually set him up straight. So if they plug him in as a starter right away, he clearly enhances that offensive line from the beginning for the fact that Josh Allen is going to pass like crazy. But you can easily kind of teach him eventually to affect the running game more in the short amount of time that they use it effectively. So
yes,
it'll work out well.
So I don't hate it because this team really doesn't know how to run the ball. So if you put a pass-heavy block guard in here, it makes absolute sense because the only one that can run the ball officially in this offense is Josh Allen. So Devin Singletary is a free agent. I don't know if they'll bring him back. James Cook is a primary pass down back. And who else do they have? Zach Moss? Or no, he went to
now. Yeah,
that's right. So they also pass.
I didn't realize Devin Singletary was a free agent actually.
Yeah, they have I'm trying. He got drafted. Naeem Hines.
Yeah, so they have Hines too, which is another.
Oh, okay.
So this offense is primarily pass heavy. We'll see if Josh's arm will fall off, but I think it's a good pick.
I thought it was a good pick on Thursday when I made it, but Greg.
I had the weekend to think it over. What can I say?
I want to be honest.
Good, Joe.
I want to be honest with you too. They need to stop being so pass heavy. I know it works, but like if Josh Allen's your number one rusher, it's almost like they don't care about preserving his career. I know he's going to run whenever he wants to, but like they're calling design runs for him, and they kind of need to stop that. Personally, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's him though. Well, I don't think it's the coaching staff that's telling him to run. I think it's just him wanting to like make a play happen because he can't find Stephon Diggs open. So
yeah, and I get that, but like calling design runs, which they still do, like that's the part that I'm like, you should probably try to develop a run game with someone outside of your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Too bad Bijan's gone.
Very true.
Ping, you got the Bengals.
Bengals. All right. I hope Keaton isn't mad with this one.
Yeah.
He will be.
He will be.
I'll start off by saying recently lost his position in free agency. Give me the Kyle Pitts of this draft, Darnell Washington.
I don't think he'll hate that at all.
I think he'll go Kyle Pitts. But yeah, no, I think the pick will be fine.
I mean, I'm drafting him mainly for what I saw in the combine for him blocking. I've never seen a tight end block like that. So that alone is good. He's replacing Hayden Hurst, who wasn't your offensive star, more so the guy to get 4 catches for 40 yards, maybe a tutty. So I think this is a perfect place for him to grow.
Personally,
I don't even know who their starter would be actually right now.
It's someone who had 2 catches for 5 yards last season. So
Jesus.
Who is it?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Devin Asai?
Oh, the guy from the Patriots drafted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
from
he got
UCLA.
drafted, I
Yeah.
think, mid-season, but he still sucks, so I think it's a good pick.
Yeah. Honestly,
I
this is a great draft for them to need a tight end because it's a deep tight end class, which is weird because I've never seen it like this before.
Yeah, I mean, when you're Mel Kiper throwing 4 tight ends in your first year, I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about the tight end class, I guess. But
I
I
guess.
do want to say this about the whole Kyle Pitts thing. I think you can make the argument he might be more complete than Kyle Pitts because he's a way better blocker than Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, he's a physical freak in terms of receiving, which is what makes Kyle Pitts him. But I mean, in terms of blocking, Darnell Washington's a monster. That video of him pushing the sled by himself.
sled? Oh my God.
someone else going right
I
after
just
him
don't know if
and
I'd call him more complete just because he's better at one thing and he's taller.
Yeah, that's two parts of the game. Like,
It's
not
a
just-
part. I just don't think that makes him more complete.
I think it's arguable over that sense. I mean, he's not as athletic as Pitts. I mean, he got better hands. He's not as fluid as Pitts, but I mean, Pitts isn't lining up on the inside and mowing people down. Like Darnell Washington's easily going to do that.
It just sounds like that's more of a specialty than a complete tight end. Like Kyle Pitts is a tight end. Darnell Washington is a guard that they let run a few routes.
That's a compliment.
All right, I'm up for the Saints. This one's easy for me. They need defensive help. I'm not in love with anyone other than Kalijah Kancey.
He's another guy that's going to rise up boards too. So
I would hate to see him at the Saints. Hate to see him at the Saints, but I think that they need pressure up front. All the edges that I kind of love are, gone or questionable there. So, and I wanted to steal him from Dre because I knew that Dre wanted him at 30.
they lost 3 guys on their defensive line because free agency too. So it's
To pay Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
Dre, you're up for the Birds. They have Bijan Robinson and a prayer.
I can immediately pivot because I was not ready for that at all.
I know.
Be completely honest.
You've done it to everyone else here.
I'd much rather see Kalijah Kancey with the Saints than the Eagles. I'll give you that.
Fair.
It's a great pick by you. Not gonna lie. I think Kancey would fit perfectly here, to be honest, which is why I wasn't really zeroing in on everyone else. But if we added Bijan, it would be adding the passing back and Jahmyr Gibbs would be hilarious. But obviously that's stupid because Bijan is the most complete receiver ever. I'm just trying to pivot real quick because I again
He's all
wasn't
good, dude.
prepared for this.
He's so flustered. I love it.
I am. I was zeroed in on one person, but all right, here we go. They do have a lot of defensive holes, so obviously, whole premise of the Bijan pick is that you can get your depth later with defense. I really like the defensive side of the ball on this draft for this position, and they kind of fill it. I'm going to go Drew Sanders here. I think you saw him in here, sideline to sideline guy. I know they got Nakobe Dean as well, and they're ready to give him starting reps, but Drew Sanders, I think, is more complete in terms of his game. He's faster, sideline to sideline guy, and they need that right now. So give me him.
I think Dean's a bust. And what I mean by that is we hyped him up, not hit. Like, there's no bust in his name. He was a 3rd-round pick. By bust, I mean that we had him mocked in the 1st round. I also had Malik Willis mocked in the 1st round. But I think this is a great pick because I don't see Nakobe Dean as the starter there.
No, I don't either. Biggest thing about Dean is that his workouts were just not good. We saw the tape. We saw the game. We saw him pick up his teammate's head, Leo Chenal, in that championship game because he made a bad play.
It was
and
a
then
fucking missile. Yeah.
made a great play right after. Just like, that's what I'm talking about. We saw that one, like, that's leadership. But, like, still got to transition to the NFL game. And I don't know if this game has, they're going to give him reps and give him time, but they got holes there. So Drew Sanders makes sense.
I'm honestly curious to see who ends up being the first linebacker taken because I would not be shocked at all if Jack Campbell ends up being the first linebacker taken overall in this class.
Trent Simpson?
Yeah, because I mean, if you look,
Ethan.
because just from the workouts, like Jack Campbell was great at the combine. I think Simpson is also like an athletic freak too. But if you look at kind of how whatever team uses him or needs linebacker help, I think it's going to determine based on how they play him, because I think a lot of people are still scarred from the who's the guy that the Cardinals drafted that we all kind of
Isaiah
made fun
Simmons?
of, and Isaiah Simmons. Yeah, I think too many people are scarred from Isaiah Simmons after trying to figure out Clemson linebackers that can still be safeties as well.
Fair. Austin, close us out here. You got the last pick. It is the 31st pick for the Chiefs because the Dolphins cheated.
Correct. Nerds. Just cheat better. I will say there's two abilities that you can go here, two positions that you can go here, and they're both on the offense because that's just how this team rolls. In my honest opinion, Juju's out. You could improve the speed by adding Zay Flowers. However, I'm not doing that.
Oh, D got so excited for a second.
I'll explain why I got excited and then confused and then excited after Austin finishes his thought.
Kelsey's getting older. Will he be able to play as much as he will? I'm not entirely sure. But in my mind, let's add the best tight end prospect in this class. Comped baby Gronk. Give me Michael Mayer from Notre Dame.
Yeah, so
For what it's worth, I hate that comp. Hate it.
I don't.
But
Yeah, I don't think it's a real. For me, he's like Cole Kmet. My issue is that you said you need speed and you go for Zay when Jalen Hyatt's sitting right there,
Right.
the absolute top off the fucking defense. But then you said Zay, and I'm like, damn, he's not going Zay either. Like, what the? I love Zay Flowers here.
I know. It's just I feel like they didn't give Sky Moore a lot of reps when he was there, and I feel like adding another receiver is just going to take reps away from him. I would like to see him flourish in that offense a lot more than being on the field for 4 plays a game and being punt returner. Like that's you have Kadarius Toney there too. Like I think they're okay with receiver, but yes, Kelsey's getting older. I want him to be replaced with a tight end that can keep going and has the talent to do so.
They also have John Ross. Like they have a guy that can take a top.
John Ross.
oh, shut up.
John Ross is a goddamn bum, and you know that.
All right, in that same grade, they got Noah. They have Noah Gray. What are we doing here? They have Noah Gray, Dre. What are we taking a tight end for?
Yeah, what are we doing here? They got Noah Gray. The pick should have been Jahmyr Gibbs for fantasy purposes
I
only.
think they learned that they're not drafting a running back at the last pick anymore. So
In their defense, Jahmyr Gibbs way better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We just saw that in that. We just saw them take him based off of him in the best offense in college football that we've probably ever seen. And we're like, oh, let's take him here and see what happens. Yeah, it was a horrible pick. Gibbs, way better prospect.
Well, gentlemen, that is our first official mock that'll go out. I'll get that up sometime today to post tomorrow. Any closing thoughts?
I thought it was very funny. I drafted for basically 3 teams.
Yeah, dude. That was weird.
I didn't realize it until I got to the Seahawks and I started looking. I was like, wow, I really didn't have a chance to talk about any franchises. But hey, I just hope I made Mina Kimes happy and all Philly. Bijan of the Eagles. Let's keep that rolling. I don't care about free agency.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to say? Dre really is the Eagles' whole entire franchise. Yeah, we'll be doing more draft content like this coming out of it. Obviously, we'll have my guys. We'll have the mock draft show at the show itself. Thank you, gentlemen, for all waking up and doing this, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Sweet.